Panther people, what up? The NFL draft is less than 10 days away. We're going to be talking about Baker Mayfield, Jimmy Garoppolo, rookie quarterback, Sam Darnold. Who is the best person to be under center this year for the Panthers? Panther people, what's going on? Thanks for joining. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. Before we get to those topics and then some, I have some admin. We're getting big now. We got some admin to talk about. Not big. I realize we're not big, but I do appreciate everyone who has subscribed already. So Panthers Post started off as just event process, and now it's been 1 year. Almost 2,300 subscribers. That's a lot of people in one room. So to celebrate for next week's NFL draft, Thursday, April 28th, I am doing a live stream reaction, preview, review of the first round of the NFL draft. And depending on how that goes, I'll be doing the same thing for day 2. Hopefully the Panthers actually have some picks. And then day 3. But the reason why you want to tune into day 1 or evening 1 is the fact that I'm going to be giving away 3 gift certificates to Sycamore Brewing in Charlotte, North Carolina. So what that means is you watch, I'm going to be asking for some predictions, and then those who get it right first, who give me their emails, I will then send you a $25 US gift certificate for Sycamore Brewing. I think that's good enough for a couple tall cans. Their beer is dope. I've been to their brewery a ton of times when I go watch Panther games with my bro, with my wife. The good nights always start at Sycamore Brewing. Again, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm paying you guys. I'm getting nothing. All right? They can't even send me the gift certificates. They can't even send me beer. I want to send you beer. So make sure to tune in on the live stream of the first round of the NFL draft. That's April 28th. And just show you how dedicated I am, this is going to be my wedding anniversary. It is literally my wedding anniversary on April 28th. But that Thursday evening, I'll be up here live streaming on YouTube. Make sure to tune in, and I'll be sporadically giving away these gift certificates. It's going to be a lot of fun. Back to it. Let's talk about some news and notes for the Carolina Panthers, talking with the most heartbreaking, though not surprising. Stephon Gilmore has signed a deal with the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, who they made a mistake the same way the Panthers did with their fill-in quarterback, Carson Wentz. We chose Sam Darnold. They realized they needed to move on from that. Panthers still trying to convince themselves they're in a right position here, kind of. They went off and they got Matt Ryan. Matty Ice no longer in the NFC South. They already have guys like Darius Leonard, who are Super Bowl caliber winning players on that team. A Super Bowl winning 2019 Defensive Player of the Year type caliber defensive back in Stephon Gilmore. His wife said on Twitter, Charlotte will always be their home. It was a small chapter in their life. I'm sure it was nice for them to get a reset, but now they're with a potential Super Bowl contending team. The only problem is, in my opinion, it's in the wrong conference. Newly acquired linebacker Damian Wilson, who the Panthers picked up just a couple weeks ago, has been arrested in Texas a couple hours ago, allegedly threatening to kill his wife with a tire iron. This is according to Joe Person from The Athletic, the beat reporter for the Panthers. So we're going to see how that plays out. We're going to let the legal thing go on, but it seems like the Panthers, if there's a way they can get out of that, get out of it. They've always been in the market for a linebacker. If you've been watching my mock drafts heading into this year, this offseason, heading into this draft, I've always mocked the Panthers to pick up somebody later in the rounds, the cat out of Appalachian State, the cat out of Montana State as well, to try to pick up, a youthful linebacker to pair with Jeremy Chin when he comes down to the box, or Shaq Thompson. So Damian Wilson may already have his time numbered with the Panthers before it even started. Oh yeah, and this happened in Ben McAdoo's introductory press conference with the media.
You look at Sam as your starting quarterback?
Sam is our starting quarterback, yes. Coach Rule will obviously have a say over that, but the way it is in the building right now, Sam is our starting quarterback. Announcing the starting quarterback here, I just put my foot in the mouth, so that wasn't something I should have said.
Oh, my God. Let's get to the meat and potatoes now. Let's talk about the quarterback situation. So, again, the draft is April 28th on a Thursday, live stream on YouTube. Make sure to click on Panthers Post. You can win some money. Gift certificate and money. But let's talk about the Panthers quarterback situation. We all know, even Scott Fitter has been openly saying it, that Sam Darnold is not the guy. They're going to bring in some competition. It's not going to be PJ Walker. It's going to be somebody else. But there's so many avenues right now. Now, we've talked to death about the rookie quarterback situation. We talked to death. We all know the Deshaun Watson situation. We don't need to talk about that anymore. But we kind of do, because it affects potentially who could be the next starting quarterback of the Panthers, and it could be Baker Mayfield of all people. So Baker Mayfield, kind of the odd man out. It seems like the Cleveland Browns have accumulated about 4 more quarterbacks. So their quarterback room's got like 6 guys in it right now. And so they just picked up Josh Dobbs. So now Baker Mayfield may be out of a job. Well, he is out of a job. But it looks like the Browns are going to have to find a way to get rid of the former first overall pick. That's how crazy this business is, people, that he was the first overall pick. He helped the Browns win their very first playoff game in I don't even know how many years. And now already, it makes sense on the field wise, maybe not off the field wise. They got a guy who they think can take them to the next level. Baker's not that guy. They feel that Watson is. Baker's now available. And Mary Kay Cabot, who is the authority, in my opinion, for all things Cleveland Browns. She works for Cleveland.com. She's got all the scoops. And in her latest article, she said that if Baker were to move on from the Browns, which is going to happen, the Carolina Panthers have the inside track to pick him up. Disrespected. So he's going to be a menace. And so they have to get him out. And they can't just, they're going to have to either release him, which might not be ideal for the Panthers because he's making the same amount, which is crazy, as Sam Darnold, about $19 million next year. So the Panthers, if they were to pick up Baker Mayfield, they're going to have to ask the Cleveland Browns to either give us some late round picks to kind of balance things out, or they're going to have to eat either half his salary or all his salary, whatever it is. It seems like they have tons of money. They're paying Deshaun Watson, what is it, $240 million? Most of it's guaranteed, or all of it is completely guaranteed. So it's good financially for the Panthers to pick up Baker Mayfield because it's almost like you're paying for Sam Darnold, but you're playing Baker Mayfield, who is an upgrade, I don't care what people say, to Sam Darnold. And I say he's an upgrade because sure, he might not have the arm talent where, you know what, if you want to talk about application of said arm talent from Sam Darnold, I'm not seeing it. It's not producing anything besides headaches and migraines and, blurred vision. But, Baker Mayfield has at least put the tools that he has to work on the field for a team that won nothing, drafted him, and then they've had a gajillion quarterbacks. We've all seen the pictures of, starting with, Johnny Manziel, Tim Couch, all these guys, the names of quarterbacks the Cleveland Browns have tried to throw at the wall to see if it sticks. He was the one that stuck, helped them get to the playoffs, beat the division rival in the playoffs, okay? And so he played with a bum shoulder last year, and he still did okay. But, you're at least getting a guy who is an upgrade to Sam Darnold. He's an upgrade in the fact that he has produced at the NFL level. He has won. Sam Darnold has not won. Sure, they might have some same traits. The fact that they make some bonehead decisions sometimes. It looks like he might have a little bit too much happy feet, might think too much in the pocket, but Baker makes plays. This is the X factor here. Why, again, as I mentioned, some people are comparing Baker Mayfield to Sam Darnold, saying it's kind of a lateral move. The difference is, as we mentioned, during the season, Sam Darnold's kind of that California cool, whereas Baker Mayfield is like a Wolverine. He's crazy. He's a crazy person. You got to respect the grind, the fact that he was a walk-on. He is undersized. He's around 6'1", 200 and change. He is technically, I think, taller than Russell Wilson. So he's not a shrimp. He's not Kyler Murray, who was previously mocked to the Panthers. That's not happening. But, Baker's got, number one, something to prove. Now, Sam Darnold has something to prove, but he's not vocal about it. Not everyone's going to be a rah-rah guy. Baker Mayfield is a rah-rah guy. And so the same way when you get like a player's coach, and it doesn't work out, then you get a strict X's and O's analytics type coach. Right now, we have a California cool, very chill quarterback in Sam Darnold, and it's just not working. It's just not working. He's California cool, but when the game starts, he gets frantic and he makes bad decisions. But now you switch it up. You get someone who's a rah-rah, fired up guy, Baker Mayfield, who had to walk on and earn all the positions that he's had in his collegiate life, and then also try to prove people wrong, being the first overall pick in that draft where no one expected it, and then head to the Cleveland Browns, working class city, helping them win their first playoff game, I think, in 30 years. And so he feels disrespected. He feels slighted. And I feel like if he comes to the Panthers, he's going to be a man on a mission to prove people wrong. And in the same case, try to prove the Carolina Panthers right. Tell them, hey, you signed me on for a 1-year deal. You're not really paying me. I know it's a low risk for you guys, but I'm going to make sure you guys don't even have to look at the 2023 NFL draft in terms of the quarterbacks. I want you to, believe in me, and I'm going to prove it to you. And you can arguably say that he might actually have better weapons offensively than he did in Cleveland. Yes, he had Kareem Hunt. He had Nick Chubb. But when healthy, you got Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. You got to have a power back in D'Onta Foreman, who could kind of be that Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt type. And then you have Chuba Hubbard, who's kind of a mix of them both. And then you have DJ Moore, who has consistently produced no matter who the quarterback is. You got Tommy Tremble, who is a tight end that is on the rise, in my opinion. And then you got guys like Terrace Marshall Jr., who didn't show much last year because he was put in a terrible situation quarterback-wise and offensively with a change of heads. But now you got somebody like Ben McAdoo who could maybe look at him and see him as like a Plexico Burris type, and then make him that big body receiver who can be a mismatch nightmare. But then, you got Robbie Anderson, who has been very clear that he does not want Baker Mayfield, and that's totally fine with him, and it's also totally fine if the Panthers want to get rid of him and part of this trade. It could be a 3-team trade. Who knows? They can send him off to Pittsburgh, who he can then replace Juju Smith-Schuster, and then welcome Terrace Marshall. You are now our number 2 wide receiver. Shi Smith, if he figures out the legal stuff, he could be number 3. This Carolina Panthers team aren't in a position to have egos right now, so they should take whoever they bring in who has one in this league and then take him in as their own. So Robbie can say what he says, but at the end of the day, you got to perform. You got to perform to your contract, which he hasn't really. I am in Team Baker, especially if he costs absolutely nothing. If you actually gain some draft picks and maybe also half his salary paid off by the Cleveland Browns, that's awesome. That means the Panthers can kind of sit and pretty at 6. They can pick and sit and pick at 6. Either Ikem Ekwonu, who they brought in yesterday, whether it's Evan Neal if he's still there, Charles Cross. I'm more of the Evan Neal Icky combo. If any of those guys are available at 6, you pick them up. You strengthen the offensive line for whether it's Baker Mayfield this year and then someone else the following year. Doesn't matter. The offensive line has been basically solidified. You just got to put Brady Christensen at the left guard. You got Austin Corbett on the right, and then you got Taylor Moton in the right tackle position, and then you got Bradley Bozeman at center. That's a pretty damn good offensive line if you ask me. So whether it's Baker Mayfield this year or a rookie next year or someone else, at least the offensive line is consistently going to be better than it has been the last couple of years. You could do that. You could trade back a little bit, try to gain some second-round picks, some third-round picks, and if Charles Cross is still available, because there could be a run on quarterbacks, or defensive ends, then maybe you can still get a Charles Cross, or maybe somehow Evan Neal still falls, and then you can pick him up, and then maybe a linebacker, maybe Chad Muma out of Wyoming in the second round, maybe another wide receiver if Robbie Anderson is dumped in a trade somehow to, keep the peace at Bank of America Stadium. You have a lot of options there that don't include taking a risk with some of these quarterbacks, whether it's Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis or Desmond Ridder. Despite what people are saying, how ready Desmond Ridder and Kenny Pickett could be in the NFL, they're still a rookie, still going to be some growing pains. And if you're Matt Rule sitting in his spot, doesn't matter whether you recruited Kenny Pickett or not, you have to win at least 6 games to save your job, and you definitely can't start doing that later in the year. You got to start winning right off the gate. Do you really want to spend that with a rookie quarterback who could take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, to really start producing on the field? Now, the other option at quarterback is San Francisco's Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, the 49ers have a little bit more leverage. They're not exactly pressured to put Trey Lance in right now in September, the start of week 1. Jimmy Garoppolo, who is now recuperating from shoulder surgery on his throwing shoulder. So that's not ideal. I got, post-traumatic stress from Cam Newton's shoulder issues. I don't really need that right now with another starting quarterback. Not only, he's done things, but now he's got a medical history. We know he's torn his ACL as well in his first year with the San Francisco 49ers, so he's an injury risk. Panthers play on turf. Who knows how that knee, reacts to that, half the games out of this year. So they have a little bit more leverage. They're not exactly forcing themselves to trade away Jimmy Garoppolo for nothing, the same way the Cleveland Browns might be doing with Baker Mayfield. Trey Lance, still raw talent, North Dakota State, didn't do much last year. He was a running quarterback who can throw, and then he hurt his MCL running last year. So I think they saw, oh man, let's not rush this guy right now. They can still put in Jimmy. They had success with Jimmy last year and the year before. And the year before that, he's made it to a Super Bowl. He's made it to an AFC Championship game. He can make things work, but he's going to cost more. Reports are saying they want multiple day 2 picks. So right away, Panthers already not in the mix because they have no day 2 picks. And so it's going to cost more to get Jimmy Garoppolo, thus weakening the current team that we have right now. He's got injury issues. Sure, he's more of a cool, calm, and collected, kind of like take a page out of Sam Darnold type of quarterback. He is a leader, no doubt. We're seeing that. Emmanuel Sanders was on Good Morning Football, and he said he is a leader, 100%. But he's injured. He's 30. And, he kind of has that same DNA as Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, that he sometimes makes boneheaded mistakes at key points in very massive games. So, with all that, the cost, the injury concern, guy won't be able to throw until June. OTAs are happening now in the weight room. as we know last year, your best ability is your availability, and he won't be available. So I don't even see what we're doing here. I don't see what we're doing here. I think the best risk and reward is Baker, and not only that, he's actually got something to prove, unlike Jimmy Garoppolo and Sam Darnold, and he has an actual fire burning under his butt. First overall pick, the guy has an ego, and so he needs to fight for it. And I feel like giving him a home with the Carolina Panthers, I feel like he will deliver. That's it. So I'm Team Baker. I'm going to stick to it. You can come back to this if they pick up Jimmy. And if I start talking shit, be like, oh, what are you talking about? You'll know I'm Team Baker this entire time if it comes to those two. Which way would you rather go? Would you rather go Baker Mayfield? Would you go Jimmy Garoppolo? Would you somehow still try to convince yourself that this draft class of quarterbacks is good enough? Or are you team start Sam, pick up, can you pick up? I don't know. Matt Barkley signed somewhere, I think. And then you just tank it out and then pick again next year for the 2023 draft and then figure it out from there, probably with a new head coach. Let me know. Like, subscribe, let your feelings know in the comment community. And again, draft night, Thursday, April 28th, live stream, giving away beer money, actual beer money. See you guys then.